What's up? I'm Pete Last Guy, and this is Raw Emotion, where I take a look at this week's Monday Night Raw and tell you a little bit about what I think and a lot about how I feel. So, let's do that thing I just said. The show opens with an in-ring promo from Roman Reigns. I know, it's exactly what we all wanted. Getting it. But not to worry, it is cut mercifully short by Paul Heyman, who comes in to, of course, hype up Brock Lesnar, and is then followed by a slew of entrances. Chris and Kevin, Kevin and Chris, Jericho, they come in next, followed by Seth Rollins, followed by Braun Strowman, followed by That's right, the Beast himself shows up and everything is tense for a moment. Everyone's staring each other down and you're like, ooh, well, at least, you know, no one's fighting each other. And sudden Zayn! Yeah, looks like I was wrong about him being dead last week, because he just out of nowhere flies in and just tackles Braun from behind, and then of course everything explodes. Eventually, after the dust settles, it's Brock Lesnar standing alone in the ring, of course, because what did you think he was gonna talk? No. So that's your opening segment, a little bit more Royal Rumble hype. I guess there's nothing really wrong with that. It started off a little same-ish, like we've kind of seen this segment before, but you know, they switched out Goldberg with Brock Lesnar, and Zayn was there. So I enjoyed it. It does seem a little bit like a rehash, but I thought it was a good way to open up the show. And then the next thing is an Enzo and Cass versus Rusev, Lana, and Jinder Mahal thing, and I can't even be bothered to care anymore. Enzo's not faking needing a wheelchair at this point, so that's good. I think that's all I'm gonna say about it, though, because this storyline, this feud, has been stupid from its inception, and it's stupid now, and it's been around long enough now that it's also stale. So it's not worth talking anymore about. Next thing. The next match is a Cruiserweight match, and so let's just jump all the way into Cruiserweight corner. This match, more boring than it should have been, frankly. It was Arya Daivari versus, Drew Gulak, Tony Nese, I don't even know. Arya Daivari versus Lince Dorado with Jack Gallagher on commentary, which of course was fantastically entertaining, and the match was alright. I don't know. It was more boring than it had any right to be, with talent in there like you had. But then that brings us to the Tag Team Titles Championship match, and the first, in my opinion, good match of the evening. I mean, the setup for this was about as 50-50 booking as you can possibly get, you know. In the last 2 weeks, we've seen, you know, them pair off and fight each other in singles matches, and now here we are with the titles on the line, and again, hard-hitting, good match. The Club, the Good Brothers, what are we calling them now? Anderson and Gallows are looking strong again, finally. They're really actually looking like a force to be reckoned with, and Sheamus and Cesaro looked that strong just right out the gate. And so just putting these two teams in the ring with each other is a great time. I love seeing this. These guys are professionals. I mean, I know it's pro wrestling, but these guys are professional. It was a hard-hitting match. That's the word I would use. That's what I think is the most fitting term to use here. It was a hard-hitting match. Just a whole lot of good stuff to be found throughout the beginning and the middle of this match. But then there's that third part. End up with a screwy finish at the end of this. Sheamus, who is still, you know, a heel pretty much. I mean, he's kind of working tweener-ish a little bit with the influence of Cesaro on him. I think is maybe doing a little bit of that, but he's still pretty heelish. He just hauls off and just punches the ref right in the face. It's not like he thought the ref was somebody else. It's not like he got shoved into the ref. He's just like, what? No! Blah! Oh, what did I do? Oh, my temper. Oh well. But after that ref gets knocked down, Gallows and Anderson land the magic killer on Cesaro, pin him for much longer than a 3 count, giving the replacement ref time to run up, slide in there, and give a 3 count. That's how long they had Cesaro pinned for. And they won, but then the original ref, John Cone, he regains consciousness, gets up, he goes over to the timekeeper area, he's like, no. Anderson and Gallows win, yes, but it's because of disqualification, and I don't know if any of you noticed this, but Sheamus punched me in my face! So after a real dominant win and a statement pin off of the Magic Killer to Cesaro from Gallows and Anderson, they still don't win the titles, and I'm torn between whether this was a bad idea because it makes the champions not look as strong, not look as formidable. They're kind of, as a unit, they lean more face. And this makes them look a little heelish because the big heel team got screwed out of the championship win. But on the other hand, this does serve to, again, like I said, make Gallows and Anderson look like they're tough. Look like they're somebody that you really got to give a second thought to. You know, that these are a team that's a problem for the champions, you know? I thought for a second that they were champs, and I was okay with it. When the match ended before John Cone regained consciousness, I was like, you know what? Yeah. No, if you can pin Cesaro for that long, I think you deserve to be champs. But I guess we'll just have to see where they go with this. They've done a good job with the Cesaro and Sheamus story arc so far, so I trust WWE Creative in this instance. No. But hey, speaking of tag champs and people who used to be tag champs, you guess what? There's another New Day segment with Titus O'Neil. Just what you wanted, fans. Just what all of us wanted. Yeah. You know, this keeps happening where something goofy, some weird goofy storyline will pop up and I'll be like, you know what? I don't hate it. I said that about Titus O'Neil a couple weeks ago. I was like, hey, come out for that one segment. I was like, that wasn't terrible. You know, I thought maybe, I don't know, in my naivete, in my marky stupidity, maybe I just thought, oh, it was going to be like a one-off thing. He comes in, does that segment, da-ha-ha, good laughs, let's go home. No, he's going to come back the next week and he's going to wrestle Kofi Kingston, and then he's going to come back the next week like I predicted and wrestle Big E, but unlike what I predicted, he just lost again. So what was even the point of any of this? Any of it. There's no point. It's stupid and I thought it was good. I thought, what did I just knock off the wall? But you took a thing that was okay and you made it bad, WWE. You made it bad. But one of the other best parts of the evening came up next when Charlotte comes down to the ring and does this big old promo about how Bayley is normal. She's just like all you fans. She's a wrestling fan, and that's the worst thing you can be. Heat. And she got specific with it. She pulled up some pictures from Bayley when she was younger. Pulled up some images of poetry about wrestling that Bayley had written. And then, you know, of course, in the midst of this, Bayley eventually does come out herself and gets in the ring and gives a really passionate promo. I mean, like, all the way up until the end, you know, when she started doing cheesy, like, battle raps at Charlotte. Up until that point, though, she was full of passion, and it felt genuine, it felt real, I was immersed. That's good. I think Bayley really could solidify her future on the main roster here. She's been kind of floundering, kind of floating around ever since they brought her up, and I feel like this feud, even though, like I said, it just came out of nowhere, and there was no natural segue into it, I still think that this feud with Charlotte stands a chance of really solidifying her as a force to be reckoned with in the women's division there on Raw, and I am excited to see it happen. I really am. Now, a couple things I forgot to mention while I was over in Cruiserweight Corner. I got distracted. There was 3 Cruiserweight segments this week, and one of them was the match with Ari Daivari versus Lince Dorado. The second one was gonna be a match between Rich Swann and I want to say Tony Nese. But while Rich Swann is doing his entrance, they cut away to replays from last week. You know, when Neville was Rings of Saturning Lince Dorado and Rich Swann runs in to help out and yada yada yada. But suddenly, like in the middle of that, you hear Michael call, "Oh my God!" and it switches back to here and now, you know, in the ring right now because Neville has found his way in and started beating up Rich Swann. But we didn't see him come in. We didn't see it. Just looked like they were cutting to a different angle on the replay. The only thing that changed was the little last week thing went away, and it took me a second to be like, what is happening? Insert Kevin Dunn joke here. But then there was another segment, Cruiserweight-wise. It was Cedric Alexander versus Brian Kendrick, and it furthered the whole Noam Dar, Alicia Fox storyline, which is just too convoluted to even keep track of at this point. And just because of the acting chops with everyone involved, it feels like a rejected episode of Saved by the Bell. Is really what it feels like. It's pretty stupid. You know? But enough about that. Let's talk about the last match, which I think was the the third of only 3 really, really good moments, honestly, in this week's episode of Monday Night Raw. It's your 6-man tag team match. You know, you got Team Roman, Rollins, and Zayn versus Team Jericho and Braun. There was a great segment. I actually like this little backstage segment from earlier where Zayn's back there trying to be all like, okay, we're gonna do this, yeah. And he's like trying to strategize with Roman and Seth, and he's like, all right, come on. His fist in. He's trying to be new Dean. It's adorable, Sammy. It's adorable. But this match was, again, it was a great match, and it didn't feel too much like that same old stale rivalry that we've had, you know, leading up to the Royal Rumble for way too long now with Chris, Kevin, Seth, Roman, Sammy, and Braun. I mean, it was that. It's just those same guys again, but everybody involved in this match is so good at ring psychology, is so good at wrestling and selling and just everything involved in the performance that I was still engaged and I was still locked in and I still wanted to see all of this match. Honestly, it's worth the price of admission just to see Braun Strowman block a Superman punch from Roman Reigns just with one hand on his neck like, no. And as you know, if you've ever watched any of these videos before, I'm a huge Braun Strowman mark. I love everything he did in this match. There was the block of the Superman punch. There was Seth trying to pedigree him, which is just, that's cute, Seth. And then there's the fact that, like, 75% of what knocks Braun over, I feel like, is just people moving out of his way. You know, if he just didn't run quite as much, I feel like he'd run into less ring posts and stuff. You know, and Zayn even gets a near fall on Braun Strowman. I think he got like a 2 count at one point, which is impressive. I mean, Braun still got the pin on Zayn, but pretty impressive. And of course, after that pin, Braun is carrying Sammy all the way up the entrance ramp to take him to the announce table so he can, you know, do some big announce table spot. But then chaos! Because Seth runs in, hits him with a chair. Roman runs in, hits him with a spear. There's fighting. Jericho and Kevin Owens show up at some point. But ultimately, the man who came out on top, the Universal Champion Kevin Owens, when he powerbombs Roman Reigns right through that announce table. Ooh, it was so good. And I liked how, you know, the commentary completely cut out, you know, because the commentary table was a big part of it, and commentary was cut out, and you're just watching this happen. It felt a bit more like you were watching like a real fight. So I don't know, that's pretty cool. But that's it. Ultimately, man, how did I feel about Raw this week? It felt like a paint by numbers kind of episode. You know, there was a lot of boring and a lot of bad, and the stuff that was good or even really good was still right within that paint by numbers sort of thing. You have your, you know, Jericho, Owens, Reigns, Rollins, Zayn, Braun match. You've got your Good Brothers / Club / Gallows and Anderson versus Cesaro and Sheamus match. You've got the Charlotte versus Bayley feud. And that stuff was all very, very good. But I've seen it. So not quite as good of an episode as last week, but I'm still psyched for the Royal Rumble. I'm still excited to see what else they do in the lead up to it. Are you excited for the Royal Rumble? Are you excited to see what they do in the lead up to it? Hey, all this stuff I've been saying. Do you agree? Do you disagree? What do you think? Let me know in those comments right there. Don't forget to click like. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you can get more weekly wrestling review content. We review Raw, we review SmackDown, and we try to get out videos about the pay-per-views every month. Not all of them, though. Go ahead and share this video with anyone you know who happens to like wrestling, and I've been Pete Last Guy, and you've been a delight. And this match right here is over in 1, 2, This is Raw Emotion, where I take a look at this week's Monday Night Raw and tell you a little bit about what I think, a little bit about. Does anybody else remember these little dudes? Yeah? Well, called Muscle Men. It stood for something. I don't know what, but they're little wrestler superhero figurines. I used to play with these all the time. Wrestling.